back in here. Let's go. You can feel the energy up in the atmosphere. Lesson learned, I ain't worried about it, never share it. No. And I finally got the spotlight, so I ain't about to share it. Just getting started, but I'm about to do it all day. On and off call. Yeah, I cannot be number 2 cause I run it like John Wall. Yeah, work our way up from the bottom, we finishing on top. Yeah, lately my life has been crazy, this shit has been non-stop. Yeah, I get no sleep, got the most heat, look closely. My mentality for quarter code. Okay, I just took my shot. Shoot, it's a switch. Come through my spot. You and your friend. You couldn't never get rid of me. Middle name is longevity. Favorite artist in the industry. Better consider me. I need a victory. Rather not lit to me. If your homeboy talk shit to me, get popped like an antihistamine. I'm like Uber Eats for the delivery. I'm everywhere that I shouldn't be. Fit it up, flick it up, switch it up. That's the transition. Ooh. Give her respect, spag, get it wet, then the pants dripping. Oh Lord. And she tried to call me talking about her man tripping. But I'm in the studio, so I can't listen. I got a pigeon on my t-shirt, I'm a staple in my city. Running this shit until my feet hurt. If I want it, I'ma get it. Call me crazy, they constantly crank my catalog. Marilyn Manson make a mess with all these rappers, dog. Back to back, consecutive. Who need that dope? I'm recording and selling it. I got that old spice, I ain't sweating it. I'll end up dead, chasing dead presidents. Yeah, Gemini committing genocide on all you acting rappers. I disrupted and fuck up the habitat. And they get kicked to the curb like a hacky sack, and that's all day. On and off call. Yeah, I cannot be number 2 cause I run it like John Wall. Yeah, work our way up from the bottom, we finishing on top. Yeah, lately my life has been crazy, this shit has been non-stop. Yeah, I get no sleep, got the most heat, look closely. My mentality, LeBron and no. Okay, I just took my shot. Shoot, I don't miss. Come through my spot. You and your friend. They want a reaction, I'll be the catalyst. Word. I can be passive, I'm way too passionate. Shorty a work of art, belong in a gallery. Sipping on Cabernet, she look like a snack straight out of the cabinet. Oh my God, she a bad one. Wife it up, introduce you to my wingman. He gon' hype it up. We get freaky in the nighttime.
What's good, Nerd Nation? It's your boy Chris, back with another episode. It's Nerds at 9 here on the Average Sports Nerds channel. If you're not already, please hit that subscribe button, help your boy out. Hit that like button on this video, help it reach more people. Other than that, though, I'm going to get right into what we're talking about today. Shout out to Recreation on the music. He's kind enough to let me use his music, set a little bit of a vibe here. So if you like the vibe, if you like the music, go give him a listen or a follow. He's on all social medias. He's on all the music platforms. So just look him up, Recreation. Pretty easy to find. Other than that, like I said, I just want to get right into it. I got so much stuff I want to talk about. You know how it is on Mondays if you've been rocking with me at all. So much stuff happens over the weekend. I don't even know how to react most times, but we'll see. We'll see what I even get to. I did want to start in the NBA tonight, just because I was talking about college basketball, obviously been talking about the NFL this whole time. With free agency, all that good stuff. So I'm going to start with the NBA tonight. Talk about Ben Simmons a little bit. I know, I predicted that they would win the championship, they being the Nets, after they acquired him. I predicted that before that, when they still had James Harden. But it's getting a little worrisome. Steve Nash said today that Ben Simmons has a herniated disc in his back. There's still no timetable for his return, and he's still optimistic, that he can play before the end of the season, or the end of the regular season, that is. So, pretty much no new update other than the fact that he has a herniated disc, which I don't know about you guys. That sounds like, pretty big news to me. They did say that he has dealt with this in the past, so that's why there is the optimism that he could come back. But this situation's just been very weird from the beginning, and now it's just downright scary. There's only about 12 games left, if I'm not mistaken, so I don't think he's going to come back. I'm really doubting my Nets pick. The city of New York has also not eased up the mandates or lifted them at all. So Kyrie Irving still at this time can't play home games. I've kind of been predicting that he would be able to for a long time now, so that's another one. I'm starting to get worried about these predictions I had with the Nets, but I mean, we'll see. I'm not counting them out. Like, I'm not saying that they're not going to win it. I'm just pretty much just giving the news and just updating my position. You can't always just like say, I said that this was going to happen, so I'm not going to change up at all or anything like that. Sometimes you got to be, I don't know how to say it. You got to go with the flow sometimes. If you're seeing a pattern, you're seeing a trend, and you're thinking, it's not going the way I thought it was, you gotta react to that sometimes. You gotta change your predictions. So if they get Ben Simmons back and if Kyrie Irving can play, I'll be back on the bandwagon. But I'm very nervous. I'll just leave it right there for now. I mean, you guys can let me know how you feel about Ben Simmons and about the Nets in general, Kyrie Irving situation. Like I said, I'm just nervous. So yeah, we'll see. I probably say the Bucks should be the favorites right now in the East, but I'll leave it there. Like I said. Next thing that happened over the weekend was LeBron James passed Karl Malone for second all-time on the NBA scoring list. Obviously, huge feat. That accomplishment speaks for itself. Second, only one person in the history of the NBA has now scored more points than LeBron James. So, got to give it up to him for that. But, there's always a but with me and LeBron James, and it's always something for me. But at this point, I believe the Lakers aren't going to make the playoffs. Not even the play-in game. They're going to completely miss it. They're not. The Spurs will pass them for the 10th spot. You heard it here first. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure other people are predicting that too because they haven't been good for a pretty long time now. But they're not going to make the playoffs. LeBron James, for right or wrong, he's going to go out there and he's going to continue averaging around 30 points a game for the rest of the season. And he's going to keep moving up on the scoring list, inching up closer to Kareem. So we'll see. I mean, he's on pace that, he'll break the record for scoring over Kareem next season. So I'm sure, like I said, it's a great accomplishment for him. Just another, tick in another box checked off of just greatness that he's achieved. But like I said, it's going to come in a losing season for LeBron. They're going to miss the playoffs. They are up 2.5 games right now on the Spurs for the 10th spot, which, I mean, that sounds like a solid lead with only about, let's see, how many games, including tonight, they have, 11 games left. So, yeah, 11 games. So, 2.5 games, 11 games left. They should be able to hold on to that lead, right? No, wrong. In this case, I would usually say yes. But I'm looking at the schedule here for the Lakers. These are the last games they have on right now. So right now they're playing the Cavaliers as we speak. That game's been close. We'll see. Obviously, the Cavaliers are a pretty solid team, so this would be a huge win. If they win tonight, that could change some things. But, all right, so they got Cavaliers, 76ers, Pelicans, Mavericks, Jazz, Pelicans again, Nuggets, Suns, Warriors, Thunder, Nuggets again. 10 out of those 11 teams right now are currently in the playoffs. The only non-playoff team they play for the rest of the season is the Thunder. So 10 out of 11 games with this Lakers team are going to be tough. They're going to be tough. Like, I would say they're going to lose a majority of those games. Now, like I said, the Spurs are 2.5 games behind, so this game against the Cavs tonight is big. Either the Lakers are going to be up 3 games or they're only going to be up 2. The Spurs just have to win 2 more games down the stretch here than the Lakers do. I think the Lakers only win 3 or 4 of these games. Straight up, I think even with LeBron's heroics, they're up 4 right now in the fourth quarter, 6 minutes left. So we'll see. I think they only win 4 of these games. Obviously, right now they're playing against the Cavs. LeBron's back in Cleveland, so I don't know. Maybe they do steal this one. Even if they do steal this one, the Lakers aren't making the playoffs this year. So you heard it here first. If you don't like that, I mean, hey, let me know why I'm wrong. I mean, I'm not always right. Obviously, you guys can say what you want about my Nets prediction, but I still have a little bit of faith in them. I'm not wrong yet on the Nets. But, you know, like I said, you know, I'm not always right, but I think in this case, the Lakers aren't going to make the playoffs. Other than that, moving on to the Western Conference, I actually have they are in the West too. I don't know why I said that, but I have a pretty bold prediction, I guess. I mean, it's not that bold. It's not that bold. They're the second place team in the West, the Memphis Grizzlies. They're coming out of the West this year. Ja Morant is going to be in the NBA Finals. Again, you know, it's kind of bold takes, but just watching, and I said, you know, going with the flow, staying with the vibes of what I'm seeing happening on the court, you know, game after game, the progression of the teams. The Suns are, you know, well ahead for the 1 seed. They're probably going to clinch that pretty soon here. But Chris Paul hasn't played in a long time. Obviously, we know Chris Paul hasn't always had the best luck with injuries. It always just seems like something gets in his way of that elusive championship. This could possibly be it again. I mean, there are reports that he could be back for the playoffs. We'll see. I haven't really checked up on his recovery in the past day or two, but as of right now, he's still not playing. Though the Grizzlies have been looking good, 7-3 in their last 10 games. They're just a really good young team, and a lot of people, you know, a lot of these guys might not be household names, but that doesn't mean, you know, at one point Steph Curry and Klay Thompson in 2015, I think it was, or I'm not sure, but that 1 year, I mean, they did come out and win a lot of games, 60 plus games. The Grizzlies aren't gonna win that many, but the Warriors in 2015, people predicted that they would be pretty good, but I don't think anybody expected that Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green and these guys were going to become, you know, what they actually became, 3-time champions. I know Kevin Durant helped with that a little bit, but they did win one without him before, and, you know, it did take some luck with injuries to Kyrie. Obviously, Kevin Love didn't play in that series. So, I mean, for the Grizzlies to win it all, I think, and to beat whoever does come out of the East, you know, maybe Giannis, maybe the Nets with KD and all those guys. I think it would take some luck for them to pull it off. You know, kind of like the Raptors did that 1 year when Kawhi Leonard pulled it off. But I see it happening, man. I mean, maybe not the whole thing. Like I said, the East is a different story. But the West, there's nobody who's going to stop this team. I'm looking at it. If it's not the Suns and Chris Paul, there's no one that's going to stop this team right now. They're 14-2 this year without Ja Morant, who obviously we know what Ja Morant's doing this year. MVP candidate. He's having, I can't even say a breakout season because he already broke out before this, but another breakout on top of the breakout that he already had. They got 5 players that average double digits, and DeAnthony Melton averages 9.9. So they pretty much have 6 guys that average 10 points or more. 4 of them average 16.4 or more, including Desmond Bane averaging 17.9. He's 42% from 3 this year. Jaren Jackson, 16.4 a game. But he's looking like a solid rim protector, 2.2 blocks a game. Brandon Clark's averaging double digits off the bench. He's just an energy guy, real bouncy. He plays the 4 usually, I think. But just they have tons of talent on this team. Dylan Brooks just came back. He's played the last 4 games for them. He was the second leading scorer. I thought he was, but Desmond Bane actually is averaging, I think, 1 or 2 more points more than him this year. So Dylan Brooks getting back into the fold. He's looked pretty solid in his games back. They're 3-1 in the 4 games he's played. This team's good. This is a very good team. And like I said, Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., DeAnthony Melton, Brandon Clark, these guys aren't, they're not your superstar players that you think of oh, that sounds like an amazing team. But with Ja Morant, and don't sleep on this guy, Desmond Bane. Don't sleep on him. 18 points a game this year, 42% from 3. And if you see him, he's not just one of those scrawny, just shoot it at it. This guy is jacked. He plays defense. Dylan Brooks, also good defender. I mentioned Jaren Jackson, rim protection. Nobody in the West is going to stop the Grizzlies. That's where I'm going with it. You guys can tell me if you agree or not, but listen to these teams, okay? The Suns, I mentioned Chris Paul having problems. The Warriors, Steph Curry is out indefinitely as of right now. I don't think he'll be back for the regular season. I'm kind of blown because I have him in fantasy, but it is what it is. The Warriors, same kind of deal with the Suns and Chris Paul. Like, it could just go really bad for them because of injuries. I know they just got Draymond back, but both of these teams have been, struggling with injuries, and that doesn't just magically get better when the playoffs come. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Suns, Warriors, the Jazz. Do we ever really trust the Jazz to make it all the way? I mean, we trust them to be a solid team, but do we trust the Jazz? No, we don't. We don't. I don't need an answer. We don't trust them. Outside of that, the rest of the playoff teams right now, as of today, the Dallas Mavericks, the T-Wolves, the Nuggets, the Clippers, the Pelicans, and the Lakers. Obviously, no one ever wants to count on LeBron James, and they have the star power, they have the names, but like I mentioned, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. They're a bad team. The Pelicans, come on, man. The Clippers, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard haven't really played. So, yeah, not really feeling them. Who else? The Nuggets, the Timberwolves, the Mavericks. Like, Jokic, maybe, but the rest of the team around him isn't as good as Ja's team. Same, I would say, about Luka. And then the T-Wolves, they're a solid core, but, like, do we see the T-Wolves as the, coming out of the West or anything like that? So, Grizzlies coming out of the West, you heard it here first. It is what it is. Like, you can disagree or not, but tell me who you think's coming out of the West, and I'll tell you why the Grizzlies, in my opinion, have a better chance. But moving on, I just want to touch quickly on the NFL. There was some things that happened over the weekend and really today. Matt Ryan got traded to the Colts for a third-round pick, so that's pretty big. Just because he's a starting quarterback, obviously, the Colts been kind of going this route, the veteran retread quarterback. Matt Ryan's, he's Atlanta Falcons Ring of Fame type player. So we'll see what he can do. I think it'd be solid for them. All they gave up was a third-round pick, so either he's going to sink or swim in Indy. They don't seem really patient, so it's do or die right now for Matt Ryan. The Falcons went ahead after that, signed Marcus Mariota to a 2-year deal, $18.7 million. So pretty solid deal for him. That's weird to me. I don't necessarily think Marcus Mariota is starting quarterback, so I don't really have faith in the Falcons. I don't really have faith in the Colts either. I never really liked Matt Ryan as like a superstar quarterback. I think he's average, just about what I think they got out of Phillip Rivers or Carson Wentz last year. So yeah, mediocre signings there. Saints re-signed Jameis Winston, same thing, mediocre signing. Even though I will say the Saints were playing pretty solid with Jameis last year, so we'll see if he can come back off the ACL. He got 2 years, $28 million, so not a ton of money, but it's something for a starting quarterback. My big takeaway though is that a lot of the jobs are drying up. Starting quarterbacks in the NFL, most teams have a guy that they're ready to go into the season with right now, outside of a few teams, and those teams seem to be, younger teams that might be more content drafting guys. So Baker Mayfield, like I said, there's not really many options left for him. Obviously, I'm just looking around the league a little bit, but the Seahawks could use a quarterback. That's one of them. Definitely the Panthers. Sorry, I couldn't think of the team name, but the Carolina Panthers could use a quarterback. Sam Darnold's not the guy, but I don't know. Do you guys think Baker Mayfield just might not even start this year? Kind of like Jameis Winston when he left the Bucs, even though he, there were some good things about him. He threw for 5,000 yards. He had 30 touchdowns, but, he also had 30 interceptions. So, yeah, I don't know, man. This is getting scary. I hope Baker starts somewhere. I don't think he's that bad. You guys can let me know what you think. I don't think Baker's that bad. I think he should be starting somewhere. Honestly, as a Commanders fan, you see the poster behind me, a freaking Commanders fan. I would definitely take Baker Mayfield over Carson Wentz. So, I don't know. I think there's a job for him out there. I just don't know where that's at right now and what team, is willing to go in on him. I think, he's still young. He was the number 1 pick. The Browns haven't always been the best franchise, and even, they might have made some moves that look good on paper, but, they won their first playoff game with him at quarterback, only one in 26 years, so obviously they upgraded. So, I don't know. I just say all that because I think Baker could still be solid, and I think a lot of teams are sleeping on him, like the Falcons. They went out and got Mariota. Like, I'd rather take a chance on Baker, personally. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe. But yeah, like, other than that, I did want to touch on some NCAA here for a second. The tournament's still going on. Just real quick, I don't know if I even said this last week, but I did pick Gonzaga to win it all in my bracket. My bracket is kind of shot. I have a decent amount of teams left, though, so I could make a comeback. We'll see what happens there. But I still think Gonzaga's going to win the tournament. Just obviously it's March Madness. I put it as like a 10% chance, which is probably, every team left has a solid chance I don't know if St. Peter's could win the whole thing, but like, you know what I'm saying. Any day it's a one game thing. Like, it's a one game thing for the college playoffs for both sports anyways, but for basketball. So any team could win, but I think Gonzaga's going to take it. Chet Holmgren's a beast. Just listen to some of these averages. For the season, 14.2 points, 9.8 rebounds, 3.7 blocks, 60.9% from the field, 39% from 3. This guy blocking shots, hitting threes, rebounding. He's 7 feet tall. He's very skinny. He's not even 200 pounds at 7 feet, which, I'm not bragging or anything. It's not maybe the greatest. I'm almost 200 pounds, and I'm definitely not 7 feet. I'm barely 6, if that. So yeah, he's a very skinny guy. But I think this guy, he's gonna be the number 1 pick in the draft based on every mock draft I've seen. So definitely watching for Chet. The rest of the tournament. He only had 9-9 against Memphis, but hey, if you include the other game, he's still averaging 14 and 13, 5.5 blocks so far for the tournament. So hasn't hit any threes yet. He's 0 for 5. So if he gets that shot falling, they're going to need him to get that shot falling against, some of these better teams. But yeah, I'm going Gonzaga still. I think they're going to pull it out. Other than that, I just wanted to say Paolo Banchero and Jaden Ivey. Banchero's from Duke and Ivy on Purdue. They're both projected for top 5 picks too. They're still in the tournament. Duke and Gonzaga could play if they both win this next game. So I'm definitely rooting for that. I want to see that matchup of potential top picks. These guys could be getting compared for the rest of their careers, honestly. And it's not the NCAA championship with Magic Bird and Larry Johnson, but who knows? In 20 years we could look back on that and say Paolo Banchero versus Chet Holmgren, like, what a game. And what a rivalry they had after that. So watch out for that. Jaden Ivey of Purdue, another team I really like watching. Jaden Ivey, I think he might not be the best player in this draft, but to me he's definitely the most exciting. And if you're looking for that Ja Morant type athleticism upside combo, take a look at Jaden Ivey. He's pretty sick. But other than that, do have a comment here from my guy Andres. I'm trying to pin it here. There we go. He said someone said Baker agreed to the Colts, but the Colts didn't agree to him. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny, man. If that really happened, obviously, Baker, hey, it is what it is. I personally would take, at this point in their careers, I would take Baker Mayfield for the chance that, if Baker Mayfield ends up being solid, and Matt Ryan, I just think he already is solid. He's not going to be amazing. I mean, he could prove me wrong. You know, a new change of scenery, better weapons, or whatever you want to say. But I don't think Matt Ryan's gonna be amazing. So like, I would rather take the shot on Baker personally. So I mean, that is funny though. But it is what it is. Like I said, I think both teams involved in that trade, the Colts and the Falcons, like Baker to me is a better option than the quarterback that they had or that they got today. So yeah. Other than that, last comment. Also, Arizona is fraudulent. I assume NCAA tournament talk, even though it could apply to the Cardinals as well. I think they're pretty fraudulent as well. But yeah, Arizona is pretty fraudulent, I would say. I don't know. I just never liked them in the tournament. I don't know what it is about their teams. Maybe it's just because they play on the West Coast and play so late at night. Sometimes I don't know. I don't get to watch them as much or something. I don't, develop that connection to the team, But they just seem fraudulent. They struggled the other night against can't remember off the top of my head right now, but they struggled with the 8 seed or whoever they played, and I think it's a sign of things to come. I think I had them going out either in this round or in the Elite Eight, so I'm sticking with that. I don't think Arizona's going anywhere. But yeah, with that, I should probably get out of here. I've gone a little bit longer than I usually do, but like I said, I was just excited. A lot of stuff happening. The NBA playoffs is almost here. The NCAA tournament will get started back on Thursday, so a lot of excitement for that. Obviously, LeBron James, they're not going to make the playoffs, even though they did win this game against Cleveland. I'll drop that in there at the end. LeBron with 38, 12, and 11. Now, that's what's going to take. That's what's going to take for sure. 17 for 29 from the field. It's going to take performances like that for sure. But, yeah, I still think they're going to miss. They got 3 games on the Spurs. If they miss the playoffs, that would be kind of embarrassing, but it's going to happen. You heard it here first. Peace out, y'all. Check out Recreation. Like the channel, or like this video. Subscribe to the channel. Smash the subscribe button. Hit the bell, too. It'll let you know when I'm going live, even though it's every night at 9. I'll see you guys. Keep nerding it up. I'll be back tomorrow.